I'm Hector Ruiz, author of Slingshot and currently a high-tech entrepreneur. You know, the technology industry has gone through some huge transformational changes ever since the invention of the integrated circuit, which replaced tubes. And those of you who may remember what tubes look like, that was a phenomenal change. Then you had the creation of the PC, which transformed the world in so many different ways. And then you had, of course, the invention of the internet and the creation of the internet, and all that has done and not only changed how innovation occurs, but it transformed how businesses conduct their business. So it's been major. I believe there is an innovation on the horizon that will be as big or bigger than any of those, and that is cognitive computing. That's the ability of a machine to actually behave human-like capability in the terms of its intelligence and its computing impact. Some people may think that's artificial intelligence, but frankly, that's a little bit of an oxymoron when you think about artificial intelligence. It was just a way of trying to illustrate that as machines get bigger and powerful, there are things you can do faster, but not necessarily that much smarter. Today, the world is called analytics, and a lot of work in analytics is going on today, where you take these incredibly powerful computers, and because they're very fast and can store an awful lot of memory, you can do a lot of intelligent comparisons, and therefore make it look like smart. But that's not what cognitive computing is. What cognitive computing is actually a machine being able to be programmed the same way that a human being is programmed. When you're born, your brain is sort of empty, and you begin to accumulate learning as you get older and older. And that process is being exploited by a very small number of companies around the world trying to figure out how do we get there. And due to the advances in technology, when you're now creating incredibly powerful computers with large amounts of storage, we're able for the first time to actually experience a level of cognitive computing that has never been experienced before. There's already work going on at various industries it's working with small companies to begin to see how you can exploit this in medicine, in oil exploration, in weather forecasting, in so many aspects of our businesses that I believe within the next 10 years, we're going to see a major change in this particular piece of technology. I think it's going to impact our lives tremendously. What it's going to lead to is what I call ubiquity and pervasiveness of technology to such an extent that we as human beings are not going to be aware that it's around us. And it's going to be similar to the three-prong plug in your room. When you walk into a room, you know there is a three-prong plug somewhere. You just got to find it on the wall. That sort of ubiquity and that sort of pervasiveness is going to make this cognitive computing lead to advances where we'll almost be able to say that we'll think and the computer will react. And that I know that that's somewhat perhaps a little scary to some folks, but the reality is that it's going to complement what we do in the world. It's going to help us solve the answer to diseases faster, better. It's going to help us figure out how to do a better job of maintaining the environment that we have so that we are less invasive in damaging the earth that we live in. It's going to lead to answers in the world of transportation that today seem far-fetched, but all of that will lead to just incredible changes. One of them, for example, is to be able to create a smart car that actually can transport people without you having to feel the burden and have to drive it. And all of that is just now beginning to occur. And I believe that within 10 years, cognitive computing will have as large an impact or bigger than the internet had in the things that we do.